In today's class, we discuss data link layer design issues. So different data link layer design issues are services provided to network layer, second one framing, third one flow control, last one error control. These are the four data link layer design issues. Now we discuss each one. First one, services provided to network layer. Here, the important and essential function of data link layer is to provide an interface to the network layer. Here, network layer is the third layer of OSI reference model, and this network layer is just above this data link layer. Here, the main aim of data link layer is to transmit data frames to the destination machine. Here, the main aim of data link layer is to transmit the data frames to the destination machine. So here, two types of paths, virtual path and actual path, virtual communication and actual communication. Here, virtual path and actual path. Here, virtual communication means there is no physical medium is present for data link layer to transmit the data. Here, virtual path, there is no physical medium. There is no physical medium to transmit the data. And in this communication, actual communication, that is actual path. Here physical medium is present through which data link layer simply transmit the data frames. Here the actual path is network layer, data link layer, physical layer, and here physical layer on mission 2 and data link layer and network layer. So that is the actual path. And in the virtual path, network layer, data link layer, network layer. There is no physical layer in the terms of virtual path. That is the difference between actual path and virtual path. In virtual path, no physical medium is present for the data link layer to transmit the data. And in actual path, there is physical medium that is present through which data link layer transmit the data. So simply remember that actual path, there is a physical medium, there is physical layer. Virtual path, there is no physical medium, there is no physical layer. Okay, that is the difference between actual communication, that is actual path, and virtual communication, that is virtual path. And three types of services provided to network layer. First one is unacknowledged connectionless service. Second one, acknowledged connectionless service. Third one, acknowledged connection oriented service. Here, unacknowledged connectionless service simply provides datagram styles delivery without any error and any issue or any flow control. In this service, source mission generally transmits independent frames to destination mission without having destination missions to acknowledge these frames. That means there is no acknowledgement from the receiver. There is no acknowledgement from the destination mission to the source mission. Unacknowledged, that means there is no acknowledgement. Here sender sends the data and receiver does not send any acknowledgement to the sender. Unacknowledged means there is no acknowledgement. Okay, and connectionless service, here there is no connection between the sender and receiver. And second one, acknowledged connectionless service. Second one is acknowledged connectionless service. So this service simply provides acknowledged connectionless service. That is, packet delivery is simply acknowledged with the help of stop and wait protocol. Here, acknowledged connectionless service. Here, sender sends the data and receiver sends the acknowledgement to sender. Yes, the data is received by me. Okay. So that is the difference between unacknowledged and acknowledged. Here, unacknowledged means receiver does not send any acknowledgement to the sender. Acknowledged, that means here receiver sends one acknowledgement to the sender. Yes, the data is received. That is acknowledged. And here acknowledged connectionless service. Here there is no connection between sender and receiver. Here connectionless service means there is no connection established among the sending machine and destination machine, that is receiving machine, before data transfer or after data transfer. Here, connectionless service means there is no connection established among sending machine and destination machine before the data transfer or after the data transfer. Okay, that is connectionless service. Third one, acknowledged connection oriented service. Third one is acknowledged connection oriented service. In this type of service, a connection is established among sender and receiver before the data is transferred. Here, acknowledged connection oriented service. Connection oriented service means the connection is established among the sending machine and receiving machine before the data transfer. And acknowledged, that means here receiver sends the acknowledgement to sender that yes, the data is received by me. Okay, so these are the three types of services provided to network layer: unacknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connectionless service, and acknowledged connection oriented service. This one is the first data link layer design issue. Next, second data link layer design issue is framing. Here, framing means to provide service to network layer, the data link layer must use the service provided to it by physical layer. Here, framing, that means here the bits are organized as a frames. The bits in the physical layer are organized as a frames in the data link layer. So different framing methods are character count, character stuffing, third one bit stuffing, and last one physical layer coding violations. These are the four framing methods that are used by data link layer. So let us discuss each framing method. First one, character count. First one is a character count. Here, each frame consists of characters. Here, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. Each frame consists of some characters. So here, the starting character in each frame represents the character count. Here, the starting character represents the character count, number of characters in that frame. Okay. This method is used to count total number of characters that are present in the frame. Here, character count. This framing method is used to count total number of characters that are present in the frame. Here, in each frame, first character represents number of characters in that frame, including that character also. Here, first frame, frame 1, characters are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So total 5 characters. So first field represents 5. That means number of characters in that frame 5. Next, frame 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So frame 2 total characters are here 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first field represents 5. Next, frame 3. Characters are 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 8 characters. So the first field in the frame 3, 8. Next, frame 4. 8, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3. 8, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3. So total 8 characters. So your starting field represents 8. So your character count, this method is used to count the number of characters in that frame. So the number of characters in the frame is specified in the first position in each frame. That is character count. And here second diagram, see, frame 1 consists of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 characters. So first field represents 5. Next, frame 2, 7, 6, 8, 9 only, up to this one. Okay, this is wrong. So here frame 2 only up to 9. Here frame 2, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here frame 2 consists of 5 characters. 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. So frame 2 consists of 5 characters. So first field 5, but here 7. So there is error. Okay. and frame 3 8012 3456. So 8 characters. So first field 8. Next frame 4 87890123. So 8 characters. So first field represents here 8. So this is about character count. So in character count, we represent the total number of characters in the frame in the first field of the each frame. This is about character count. Next, second framing method, character stuffing. Second framing method is character stuffing. So this character stuffing is also called as byte stuffing. This character stuffing is also called as byte stuffing. So in this byte stuffing, a special byte that is basically known as ESC. In byte stuffing, a special character or a special byte ESC here, ESC is added to data stream when there is a message as pattern of flag byte. Here, a special character ESC, escape character, is added to the data stream when there is a special pattern like flag or ESC. See here, original characters A flag B. Original characters A flag B. So here there is a special character that is a pattern of type flag. So we insert ESC. Okay. Next A ESC B. So here there is a special character ESC. So we add one more special character ESC. Next A ESC flag B. So here special character ESC. So we insert one more ESC escape character. Next there is another special character flag here, flag. So we add one more ESC. Okay. Next A ESC ESC B. So here special byte ESC. So we add one more special byte ESC. Next there is another ESC. So we add another ESC special character escape character ESC for that second ESC. Okay. So this is about character stuffing. So if there is byte of pattern flag or ESC, then we add one more escape character ESC to that byte. Okay, to the data. That is character stuffing. Character stuffing means here we add one more ESC escape character to the data stream if the data stream contains pattern like flag or ESC. That is character stuffing. Next one, bit stuffing. Next one is bit stuffing. So here in bit stuffing, extra bits are being added by network protocol designers to the data streams. Here in bit stuffing, extra bits are added to the data stream. Extra bits are added to the data stream by the network protocol designers. Suppose if there are 5 consecutive ones in the data, if there are 5 consecutive ones in the data, it automatically stuffs a 0 bit into the data stream. If there are 5 consecutive ones in the data, we add 1 0 to that data. So here bit stuffing. So bit stuffing is also called as bit oriented framing. So in bit stuffing, extra bits are added to the data. Extra bits are added to the data. If there are 5 consecutive ones in the data, then we add one more 0 to that data. Okay. See here. Here A is the data stream. 0 1 1 0 here ones and 0 0 1 0. See here 0 1 1 0. So here after 5 ones we add 1 0. Next after 5 ones we add 1 0. And next after 5 ones we add one more 0. Okay. Next 0 0 1 0. Okay. Here 1 0 0 1 0. Okay. Next here C is the destuffing. That means here remove these zeros. Remove these zeros. Then that one is the destuffing. Okay, here bit stuffing means if there are 5 consecutive ones in the data, we add one more 0 to the data. We add one extra 0 to the data. That is bit stuffing. Next, last framing method, physical layer coding violations. Last one is physical layer coding violations. So here, this one is applicable to the in which encoding on physical medium contains some redundancy. So this one is applicable to the networks in which encoding on the physical medium contains some redundancy. Suppose, for example, some LANs encode 1 bit of data by using 2 physical bits. Here, normally 1 bit is a high-low pair and 0 bit is a low-high pair. Here, 1 bit to represent 1, 0, and 0 bit is used to represent 0 and 1, and remaining 2, that is 11 and 00, are not used for the data. Here, some LANs encode 1 bit of data by using 2 bits. Some LANs encode 1 bit of data using 2 bits. That means 1 bit, that is 1, is to represent 2 bits, 1 and 0, 1, 0. And next, 0 bit is used to represent 0, 1, low high pair. So 1 bit is high low pair, that is 1, 0, and 0 bit is low high pair, 0 and 1. And remaining 1, 1 and 0, 0, that is high, high and low, low, are not used for the data. So this is about physical layer coding violations. So these are the 4 framing methods: character count, character stuffing, bit stuffing, and last one, physical layer coding violations. These are the 4 framing methods. Next one, next data link layer design issue is flow control. Next data link layer design issue is flow control. So here there are types. There are first one, feedback based flow control. Second one, rate based flow control. Here two types of flow control. One is feedback based flow control. Second one, rate based flow control. So in the first one, feedback based flow control, the receiver sends back information to the sender, giving it permission to send more data, or at least telling the sender how the receiver is receiving. Here, feedback based flow control, the receiver sends the feedback to the sender. Dear sender, please send the data slowly. Okay, that information sent to the sender. Feedback based flow control. The receiver sends the feedback to the sender about flow, data flow. Second one, rate based flow control. Second one is rate based flow control. Here, rate based flow control, there is one protocol which has built-in mechanism that limits the rate at which senders may transmit the data without using feedback from receiver. In rate based flow control, the receiver does not send any feedback to the sender. Here there is a one protocol that has some built-in mechanism that controls the rate. So these are the two types of flow control: feedback based flow control and rate based flow control. Last data link layer design issue is error control. Last data link layer design issue is here error control. Here, data link layer uses some error control mechanisms to ensure that frames are transmitted with certain level of accuracy. Here, data link layer uses some error control mechanisms, those are error detection and error correction, to ensure that frames are transmitted with certain level of accuracy. So, but to understand how errors are controlled, so it is essential to know what type of errors may occur. So before going to error control mechanisms, it is essential to know what types of errors may occur. So different types of errors are single bit error, multiple bits error, third one burst error. Single bit error, multiple bits error, third one burst error. So here single bit error, in this frame there is only one bit which is corrupt. Here only one bit is wrong. See here, this 0 is received as here 1. Okay, single bit error, only one bit is damaged. Next, multiple bits error, here more than one bits are damaged. More than one bit are damaged. here. This 1 is received as 0 and this 0 is received as 1. Multiple bits error means more than one bits are corrupted. Next, last one, burst error. So in burst error, more than one consecutive bits are damaged. In burst error, more than one consecutive bits are damaged. See here. This 0 is received as 1 and this 1 is received as 0 and this 1 is received as 0. So more than one consecutive bit. Here multiple bits, more than one bit. Here burst error, more than one consecutive bit. So these are the three types of errors. And different error control mechanisms to control these three types of errors are error correction and error detection. Different error control mechanisms, error correction and error detection. Here error detection techniques are simple parity check and two-dimensional parity check, and third one checksum, and last one cyclic redundancy check. And here error correction techniques are here Hamming code. We use the technique Hamming code to correct the error. Here, first one, error detection technique, first one, simple parity check. Simple parity check. So here, sender sends the data 1000011. Here, we have to compute parity bit. Here, the data is 1000011. Here, we have to compute parity bit. See here, the parity bit 1 is added to the block if the data contains odd number of ones, and the parity bit 0 is added to the data if it contains even number of ones. See here, the data is 1000011. So the number of ones are 1, 2, 3. So 3 ones. Here 3 is odd. So the data contains odd number of ones. So we add parity bit 1. Okay, here parity bit is 1. And this data is transmitted to receiver. Here 1000011. This one is parity bit is transmitted to the receiver by using transmission media. Here 1000011. On the receiver side, once again we calculate the parity bit. If it is even, accept the data. Otherwise, reject the data. Here the number of ones here 1, 2, 3, 4. So even parity. So accept the data. Otherwise, the receiver reject the data. This one is simple parity check. In the simple parity check, we have to compute parity bit. So the parity bit 1 is added to the data if it contains odd number of ones. The parity bit 0 is added to the data if it contains even number of ones. That is simple parity check error detection technique. Next one, two-dimensional parity check. Next here, second one is two-dimensional parity check. See here. Here we calculate row parities and column parities. Here we calculate row parities and column parities. Parity check bits were calculated for each row and each column. See here, the original data is here 1001101 and second segment 1110010 and third segment 00100100 and last segment 140100. So this one is the original data. And here first row 1001101. Next second 1110010 here 000100. That means these segments are taken as one row. Okay, here first row first segment, second row second segment, third row third segment, fourth row fourth segment. And here we calculate parity bit for each row. See here, first row, the number of ones are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ones. Even number of ones. So parity bit is 0. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ones. So 4 even. So parity bit is 0. Okay. Similarly, we calculate parity bits for third row and fourth row. And now we calculate parity bit for each column. See here, first column 1, 2, 3. So first column consists of 3 ones. Here 3 is odd. So parity bit is 1. Similarly, we calculate parity bit for each column. Okay. And once again, the data to be sent is here. First row, first segment here 100111110, including this row parity also 10. Next, second row, second segment, that is 111000100. Next, third row, third segment, that is 00100100. Next, fourth row, 140s 1300. Next, last segment, this one column parity and this row parity here 110110110. Okay, here last segment, these column parities 110110110. So this is about two-dimensional parity check. In two-dimensional parity check, we calculate the parity bit for each row and each column. In next class, we discuss this checksum method and cyclic redundancy check.